Welcome back to the Real Leverage Podcast. My name is Colton Welgan. I'm here with co-host Tyler Gettleman. Today we're going to be talking about content creations and our struggles and how we've been navigating through them.
Our content creation journey really started about 4 months ago. We started posting on LinkedIn pretty frequently. I mean, that was a pretty big difference maker kind of coming into this industry, right? Beyond the networking we were doing, but actually starting to post content on LinkedIn.
Right away.
Yeah. People very quickly recognized us as thought leaders, although our content wasn't amazing right away necessarily.
No, I mean, my content right away was posting about gold hunter resources, which was fine, but I was just talking about our recent news release, not really providing insight or knowledge in any way, shape, or form.
It's kind of like just starting and like putting something out there so people see your name. Yeah, it's funny. I actually remember my first piece of content. I remember the morning I posted it, and it was like, I think it was like something about silver and like something I learned about silver. And I like posted like I knew all about silver, like critical metals or some minerals or something, even though I don't know much about critical minerals. And in like 30 minutes, I had like 7 likes, 200 impressions. And I was like over there in the bathroom with Kaylee. I'm like, oh my God, why did I wait to do this? This is amazing. Like, it's so easy. I'm getting so many views. And then by like the second week, I was getting like 40 impressions, 0 likes. Like, you were my only like every other post.
I'll always be a supporter. Just know that.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think, because I was the same way when I first started on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. Impressions came so easy, likes, and then it just dropped off. Even posts I did last week have 45 impressions, and they were a well-written, thought-out piece, roughly 6 hours I took to work on. It's part of the struggle.
No, for sure. Yeah, you don't know what the algorithm is going to pick up. You can do is just keep putting out content as frequently as possible. And I mean, that's, I guess, a lot of what we've done. Like we said, it started on LinkedIn, doing like 3, 4, 5 pieces a week on something like we're learning. That was kind of like my main avenue, I guess, of how to start growing my brand beyond the networking on LinkedIn was just whatever I was learning about silver that day or copper or geopolitics or something or whatever. I would just write about it, post it, get a Canva graphic going. And I mean, did that for a while. It really stacked up quick. I don't know.
I think with LinkedIn, it was our easiest route to start building a brand because we were trying to max out our LinkedIn connections every week. Right. DMing CEOs, IR representatives, you name it.
Yeah.
So to also start being a thought leader on LinkedIn, it seemed like the easiest path to start on.
For sure.
Just kind of been going that way with X.
Yeah.
I mean, last month I've gained 60 followers, but it's a lot more difficult because
it is.
Each algorithm is so different.
Yeah, and like the networking aspect, like you said, is kind of different on X. It's not like really networky. Even I've like tried to network with people on X, and some people want to call you or talk to you, which is cool. Some people don't. It's kind of different that way than LinkedIn. But yeah, doing the connections, maxing out the connections. My posts always did the best. Like the couple days I would max them out, like every Monday, Tuesday, kind of when I would be maxed out. My Monday, Tuesday post would always do the best because everybody who connects with you or receives your request goes to your profile right away and sees your most recent post. I didn't really realize that, actually. Like every Monday when I max out, I should post something really awesome or like real leverage clip or something. I don't know.
To really just keep generating the attention.
Yeah.
I mean, so we started with LinkedIn, transitioned into X. Those were the easiest right off the bat. Like we were saying, I mean, X is more punchy, but we could also take what we were posting on LinkedIn and shorten it for X. Definitely. I mean, that's what we were doing at the start. Then we incorporated Substack. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about your Substack. You've been posting, what is it, 11 weeks in a row now?
12. Yeah, 11 or 12, whatever it is now, for sure. Yeah, I mean, the Substack's been every Saturday morning at 9:30. I post an article on something that I've like learned or inspired about or just anything, I guess, during the week, like whether it be, I mean, last week I did stock pick on KLDC. I just kind of broke that down, a little bit of technical analysis behind that, try to explain my thought processes, I guess, when analyzing that company. In the past, I've done something on like, copper, like why copper is undervalued, a bit of the supply and demand case for copper. So I broke that down. I've done more broader market, I guess. I broke down when the stock market's crashed in the past, what happened to gold, what happened to the miners, which is kind of interesting breaking those down because I have an idea of what's going on or some why copper is undervalued or why KLDC is good, but it kind of forces me to do a bit more due diligence on things that I think I understand. And that's really fun because then I go have a conversation with someone about it. And it's like, I do have this extra understanding now of a concept. So it's kind of like a self-education, but I also turn into an article.
I agree. And you don't have to necessarily know everything about what you're writing when you start. I mean, for reference, my article last week on how commodities affect geopolitics and then tying that into the Putin and Trump negotiations. That's Ukraine summit. I believe it was last Friday.
Yeah.
I learned so much while researching and fact checking myself, as well as writing an article. But once the article is written, you are seen as a thought leader.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. It's like you learn best by doing instead of just reading. It's like when you're in class and you're just looking at the whiteboard or whatever and you're like falling asleep. You don't know. You can't pay attention to it. But like if you were to go home and like rewrite out your notes or like try to figure it out yourself, you learn more. And it's exactly the same situation, right?
Exactly. And I mean, we've talked about that. We've touched on that. Believe it was episode 2. Just doing it and then learning as you're going.
Exactly.
So we've done it with LinkedIn, X, Substack.
Yeah.
My favorite Substack that you've written is the stock market crash, because that was so detailed and really showed,
like going back to like what like over like 2008 crash and then 2020 and then 2022 inflation. That one, yeah.
Yeah, and then tying it to the junior mining sector. That's kind of our specialty right now.
Yeah, something we're learning a lot about for sure. You can put that in the description if anyone wants to read it. I mean, check out both our Substacks for sure. We're posting every week.
Trying to,
yeah. I mean, it does take time and it's fun because you do get to learn a lot, but it is difficult to come up with something to write about every week. I mean, on LinkedIn alone, posting 2 paragraphs is tough to do multiple times per week, and like tweeting every day. Like, I mean, you're way better than me on Twitter. Like you're posting way more, but it is difficult. Same with the Substack, like coming up with something every week and carving out the time, especially when you don't necessarily see the reward right away, especially with the Substack. Second to that, I would say the X, and then LinkedIn is better because the more people you funnel in by getting connections, which we do every week, you do get more views on LinkedIn. Like dating back to when I started on LinkedIn, like 4 months ago or 3 months ago or whatever it was, like it started out pretty good, getting like 300-400 impressions, a handful of likes, and maybe a couple comments, which was fine. Started kind of up here, kind of like fell down for like a good month, probably getting like 100 or less impressions, 50 impressions, 30 impressions, like not good, no likes. And then at least lately for me, probably the last 3 weeks to a month, it's been pretty good, like 400, 500 impressions. I mean, I even had that one go viral, super timely LinkedIn post, which was interesting. Maybe we need to do that more moving forward. I basically just said, what happened to copper today when it fell like 20% out of nowhere because Trump was talking about tariffs on copper coming into the States. And I got like almost 23,000 impressions as of tonight. I looked, almost 100 likes, like, I don't know, 30 comments or something. I had people DMing me about it.
Got to screenshot that and put that up on
yeah, I will.
But it's interesting too, because yes, every algorithm is different. We've touched on this where LinkedIn, they reward professionalism and more paragraph like posts,
a little
but
more
then
detailed.
X wants punchy and funny, but also insight.
Yeah, and like timely too. I
Timely
mean,
as
like
well.
I guess LinkedIn probably timely as well. Like maybe the algorithm does better if it's kind of like a trendy topic, but definitely like X. Like if you hit like #1 trending on like the markets or whatever it comes under the trending, for sure. Like I know you've had a couple that have done well.
Some of that have done well, but then I mean, posting that one just meme about talking to your financial advisor and riding into the abyss. That's my most viewed X post ever, and that was last night at 10:30 when we were working.
Isn't that funny?
It was never when I planned to do it during the week. So there's that kind of struggle too, because you never know what the algorithm is going to be picking up. So it's kind of like you're throwing darts at a dartboard and hoping to find something that sticks. But even today, now that I saw that posted well, I did another comedic meme like market scenario, and it flopped. 13 views. So it doesn't.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to land, like you said, throwing darts to the dartboard. It's true. I mean, I think long term, more things will stick and like your flop will be a lot better. Your flop in a year will be like your best post today.
No,
And we know that's going to happen over time. But for now, it is funny because we are quite small still. The flop is pretty bad.
yeah, I agree. And now it's funny as we go into our podcasting journey and posting on Instagram Reels, TikTok, Snapchat Spotlight, Facebook, that we're going through the motions. The impressions aren't stacking up yet.
That's
But
right.
since we're so analytical, I think
Oh.
that's our biggest struggle, to be honest with you, is
Yeah.
how analytical we are, because we evaluate why isn't this post doing good?
Yeah.
It's a 13-second post. We posted it at 1:37 p.m. Why is it not getting picked up
Yeah.
in the algo?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we spend so much time looking at that. Like, I mean, again, ties back to what we spoke about on in the past. We're so focused on being the best that we can be. We analyze everything, and now doing even more content in the short form content. There's just so much more to analyze. And like the creator studio on like Instagram and TikTok has such good detailed analytics where it's like, we have an Excel sheet now just trying to break down and understand as best possible what we can do. And I don't know if it's even worth it at this time because we are so small.
It's been 10 days.
Yeah.
Like we just want to, like you said, we want to succeed so bad, but we haven't even done it for a month.
Yeah.
So it does take time. I mean, even right now, I can see on my TikTok videos, I'm not getting past 3.5 seconds. My viewership drops about 50%.
I think that's pretty common though. I was watching a video talking about that. Like your first 3 seconds have to be like super hooky, pull people in. And it's a struggle.
It is a struggle, especially when we're clipping these podcast clips to try to educate our viewers. It's not going to be the magnificent hook as it's more a clip that is previewing what is in the podcast itself.
Yeah, exactly. We're not sitting here trying to have like a hook every 3 seconds. Like, here's what we're doing to analyze our videos. You know what I mean? It's just a lot more raw for the podcast, which is something as well we've talked about is trying to diversify our content beyond just doing the podcast clips so we can have some more videos that are educational but kind of do have that hook as well. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about the different ideas we've come up with or avenues, I guess, the different forms of content we're working on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple forms that we're evaluating and filming currently. So some more educational content regarding what's the difference between the American stock market to the Canadian. I mean, as simple as that concept is, lots of people don't understand the difference, and there are a lot of key differences.
That's right.
And then even trying to break down how a company structures a financing and what is a financing and how can any investor take advantage of flow through shares, which we'll talk about those in the later date.
There's a lot of technical stuff that we can touch on, and we're still learning it as well. But we do have a decent understanding so far coming in this industry where we could teach some people who have no idea what's going on,
and hopefully they fare better in the market afterwards. Or
for sure.
Why you have to be cautious with small caps that are illiquid or low liquidity, right? I mean, we've been talking about KLDC. Even on its bad days, it's having over 300,000 worth of volume. So that's not typical for a $20 million market cap.
Us now. Yeah, exactly.
So we're lucky in that regard, but it's something to be aware of in case you do need to pull out your capital.
For sure. I think it will be good to share more info on that and do more content, kind of educating people more in like our niche space, because so many people don't even know at all about it. And when we say, we're in the capital markets, I don't think nobody says to me, oh, what's that? Like, they're like, oh, that's good. But you can tell they're like, what the hell's the capital markets? And like, we're even niche beyond that. We could say, oh, you heard of Wolf of Wall Street? Stockbrokers, like that's a part of the capital markets, but we're not brokers.
No,
we're doing something else. And I mean, we're doing the media as well. So we're kind of media in the capital markets. But as far as like junior mining and stuff goes, there's so much education in the junior markets as a whole. Canadian markets, there's so much education to be done that's not really being done.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go listen to those more technical podcasts, I guess, where it is just interviews with CEOs or investors and stuff like that. And those are great too. I listen to lots of them. Like I love Mining Stock Education.
But you have to have a decent bit of knowledge of the industry already. You can't just jump into that.
Yeah.
At least I found right away it was kind of complicated and confusing.
For sure.
In some nature, and then others it was beginner friendly. But
it depends which ones you watch. Like if you get on a Mining Stock Education with Don Dre, and he's just rifling off 157 companies.
Yeah.
And why they're great, it's like that is extremely overwhelming. You will never have heard of any of these companies. But it's worth hearing about it, and it's worth hearing about this space. Like, we're entering such a good time in the commodities industry and mining and stuff. There's a lot of opportunity, I guess, for people to learn. And it seems like from everyone we talk about who are, longer tenured in the industry, I think there is kind of a rotation coming over, which is good.
Right.
But at least if we can kind of help with that rotation, maybe with more people who aren't even investing at all, or younger people we know.
For sure. And this is something to take advantage of, as there is a rotation of capital. I mean, you can see it already, and being positioned on the media side as well as in the junior markets is going to help us educate people. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is kind of luck of the draw that we both just ended up in the junior mining before the bull run has really taken place.
That's right.
But it's such an interesting part of the capital markets, and it's a small sector, but it feels so large, especially in Vancouver. That's the dominating industry.
Exactly, for sure. Yeah, there's definitely lots to learn about it. I mean, anyone anywhere can learn about it. But yeah, if you live in Vancouver or BC or even Canada, there's such a lot of opportunity, I guess, if anyone's listening in Canada or even in BC. And it's like, if you want to get if you're interested in learning more about this industry, reach out to us. We're new, but as you'll see through our content and as we post some videos too, like, we're already carving out a space for ourselves here.
For sure. And I guess to touch back on the content. So we're going to try to produce more educational content for our viewers, junior mining sector, capital markets, etc. But then on the interview side, we were also talking about having interviews that are just on how CEOs, investor relations professionals, entrepreneurs, whatever it is, how they got to where they are and their story before even talking about a specific company. Kind of make it like a 3-part series.
Yeah.
Almost, just so people can see that, you got to struggle before you get to that point.
Exactly.
What skills did they leverage to get to their current status?
Yeah, definitely. I think people will find that really interesting, and I know I do. I way prefer to listen to a CEO talk about his experience coming into the capital markets, and that's something I've appreciated so much when networking with CEOs or even investors or whoever. Like, how did you get to this point? That's what's so interesting to me, and then start to understand their mindset behind it, and how that helped them get to a certain point, which could be way up here, it could be here, it could be here, but you start to understand the mindset behind people and their motivations and the steps they've taken. And you have a handful of those conversations, like, you can have a really good idea how to get to that level or well beyond it.
Well, and I don't know if you found the same thing, but especially, again, in the junior mining sector specifically, no one planned to end up in their situation. Most of the CEOs I've talked to never planned to be a CEO of a junior mining company. No. They were an accountant before, a corporate lawyer, and then they just fell into the industry. Exactly. The amount of times I've heard, I just fell into it.
It's funny, right? Yeah, I think, as we do these interviews and kind of produce content around that, it will be interesting to share those stories with people, and maybe to show that you can come into this industry if you don't originally come from it. Like, we don't, obviously, and lots of people don't. So yeah, I think we're going to have a unique opportunity once we start interviewing people, which might happen sooner rather than later in light of our recent conversations.
We'd hope so, right? I mean, that will be a whole nother struggle we could talk about later on, is the first interview we ever have. Yes, that's going to be an experience. We could probably write a book on that experience.
Yes. You guys see this, like, semi-polished version of Colton and I sitting here having a conversation with hopefully limited editing, depending on how the conversation goes. Behind the scenes, it takes a lot of tries. We're so new to doing content, and it's so silly because nothing's different about us sitting here right now talking with the camera going or with the camera off. But it's just simply that it's there going. It does change the conversation. I think today's been better. I feel a little bit more relaxed.
I agree.
But once we start bringing people on and interviewing them, we're not really going to have that room for error. And you know what? I think we're the type of people that kind of rise to the occasion.
For sure.
Absolutely. And so I think when we do start interviewing people, we will rise to the occasion and we won't mess up as much. And the conversations might be easier because we're interviewing someone and getting them to talk more. Yeah. And they're talking about themselves. So that's easy for them. But we won't really have the room to shoot 8 intros because we keep stuttering.
Right? We can't say, can we try that again, please? Yeah. It is funny, too, because I can speak for my biggest struggle with this whole podcast and creating content for TikTok, Instagram is being in front of the camera the entire time. I know you're the same way, and I never really posted on Instagram nor
Yeah.
about myself or ever shot videos of myself.
Yeah.
So to now do a 180 and always be looking in the camera, talking to
Yeah.
people, filming, it's a little bit of added pressure.
It is. It's so different, right? It's not like we've been periodically posting on Instagram for the last, 6 years, every month, or stories weekly, and like occasional videos, like talking and stuff. It's like so foreign to us. Like I haven't posted a video of me talking and put it on the internet since I was 12 years old playing Call of Duty.
I've never. So it's,
Right?
I mean, TikTok's, I kind of did, but TikTok sounds over. I showed you a couple earlier, but
10,000 likes will release the videos of Colton dancing on TikTok from 2020.
no, unfortunately they were deleted as of 15 minutes
But if we
ago.
get 10,000 likes, we're going to call TikTok and get
Well-
those videos recovered.
We'll get them recovered for sure, right? There's an incentive for the viewers, but it's so different. I mean, I never felt the pressure for LinkedIn or Substack or even X to post. It's who cares? But the fact that people are gonna see my face, see if I had a
So
bad hair
different
day,
talking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is different talking for sure.
but it's part of the learning process.
It is. I mean, it's going to keep pushing us forward beyond what we can imagine, and we have a very big imagination already. And we're just going to get way more comfortable, in front of cameras, or eventually getting on stage and talking on panels, or doing like dedicated speaking engagements. I know it's something we both want to do, or running events.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, we could talk about that probably more next podcast.
Probably
as
more
well,
next
right?
podcast.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's all coming together, and our goals are big, but the podcast and content creation is going to push us to that next level of being better communicators, being
Exactly.
comfortable in front of a camera,
Yeah. And
and
just,
eventually a big audience as well.
yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly right, which is the best part. It's just a struggle now, but it's not horrible struggling, in my apartment recording a podcast, because we're going to do this so many times that, when we are in front of people, or, running meetings or events or whatever, we'll be so much more comfortable, so much more articulate with our speech, which is a big goal.
Well, this is episode 4, I believe. Yeah. And I think maybe the viewers can hear it if you guys listen to the whole thing. I know sometimes some of you don't.
If you made it this far, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Get
But-
the average watch time up.
Right. But I can already tell our conversation is calmer.
Yeah.
We're not rushing through points as we did in the last 3. And that's just because of the repetition. And
Exactly.
that just shows that it's part of the process.
Yeah.
Who knows what 3 months are going to look like from now? Can I finally articulate a sentence perfectly? Who knows?
Hopefully. Comment below if you think you'll be able to after 3 months.
Yeah. We'll put that on Polymarket, a little bet line.
Yeah, let's shoot them an email. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. This conversation has been so much better. It'd be funny actually to rewatch the first one already. Like, it's only been a couple weeks. It's not like we're years ahead looking back, laughing at ourselves, but even a couple weeks, I'm sure that first podcast was a lot more structured and just like, let me ask you a question. You ask me a question. Let's make sure we're going. You know what I mean? This is way better.
Yeah, it was just the initial pressure. And if anyone there hasn't created content yet or is going to create content, you don't think it's going to affect you as much as it does. Or at least it has in my case. Maybe you've been more comfortable in front of the camera, but even the first 2 episodes was stressing every point, ensuring that I would say the right thing, putting way too much pressure on myself to just be perfect when we're not.
No, we're not. Exactly. Yeah, you know what? We did put a lot of pressure on ourselves in doing the podcast, but the whole point of a podcast is for it to be relatively raw, uncut. I mean, there's lots of different types of podcasts. Like if you watch a comedic podcast, it's obviously going to be super raw and just funny, and there's going to be pauses and whatever. Something like this, it kind of more weighs on the intellectual conversation a little bit, but it doesn't need to be so much pressure.
No. And yeah, I mean, this whole episode is about the content and the struggles. I think we can say by far throughout our 6-month journey or 3-month journey that the biggest struggle has been the last 2 weeks being comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah.
X, LinkedIn, Substack, sure, sometimes we can't think of the best topic, or it takes longer, or we need ChatGPT's assistance in helping us articulate what we want to say better in our posts.
right.
But the actual pressure of the camera has been the biggest struggle the last
For
2 weeks.
sure. 100%. And I can already see it's helping us out, just with our communication and just being comfortable in meetings and stuff like that, or like even changing our demeanor. I feel like in conversation, using our hands. I mean, I feel like I haven't been too handsy today, but I'm finding even off the podcast now, I'm using my hands way more when speaking to people, gathering that space, as you say.
Yeah, you got to take up as much space as possible.
Which is great. I love it.
And this is one of the main reasons we started this. It's already grown into something we want to be bigger, but just to improve our communication skills and get more comfortable. I mean, you and I already go into those and network with people, but hell, next time we're at a networking event, I'm not going to be scared. I've been looking dead straight into a camera. Nothing scares me now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, cold calling a CEO is one thing because you don't see their face. Looking at a camera, I mean, even, what was it, Thursday? Talking to that guy in the pink suit.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have done that a month ago.
Yeah.
But it was just all the reps in the camera.
Yeah, exactly. You just get confident talking and knowing that you can kind of hold a conversation no matter what, and just think on your feet, I guess. Yeah, that's kind of like an added benefit to doing the podcast. But we did consider that.
For sure.
We kind of consider everything.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to find, even throughout this conversation, how we are dissecting previous conversations.
Yeah.
Or we're already analyzing everything, which is our biggest strength and weakness, depending on what it is, right?
It's a strength, but it can be exhausting, right? And it can take a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, even us, kind of touch it back more on the clip side, we're analyzing how we're talking in those clips. And
Trying to speak slower, like I think you guys will find tonight. We spoke a little slower, and we've taken a 2-second pause if we want to articulate something.
we say that now, then we're going to watch the video back.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully it's good.
But yeah, it's just that fighting that demon of not over analyzing everything right now, as we're 2 weeks into our content creation journey. We're going to make mistakes. Our videos aren't going to be the best production wise.
Yeah.
The audio might suck sometimes.
We're working on that, guys.
We're working on it. Studio incoming.
Yes, studio incoming.
But it's something that's teaching us so many valuable lessons right now, as you and I want to see the results right away, and this is more of a delayed gratification.
That's right.
But 6 months from now,
But even some benefits already. But I know what you mean for sure, like long term, by growing the socials and the podcast and stuff. Yeah, that is the delayed gratification. But even the response to the podcast already, it's just great. Like, yeah, we have 15 subscribers and we make it 30 views, but I mean, across TikTok and Instagram, we're getting thousands. And beyond that, what I'm getting more fulfillment from is just the actual people reaching out to us saying, we love the podcast. We don't have any haters yet, so if anybody out there listening wants to become our first hater, feel free to get in the comment section. But as of now, it's been great. The response has been great.
yeah, whoever that first hater is, they're going right up on this back wall. We'll print it out. We're not promoting you to hate on us, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not what we want, but it's just,
You can critique, though. If you think something sucks about this, just be like, hey, do better at this in conversation, or get some art on this wall. I know we said we're going to get a podcast studio going. We're working on that. So that will look better soon.
I mean, hell, even my little brother said get a table. Look what we did.
yeah, look at us now, Luke. Hopefully you're 30 minutes into this.
And yeah, can really respect the table we have now. But it's a journey, and you have to enjoy the journey before the destination. And again, when we come back to our biggest struggles, I think our biggest struggle is ourselves, not the content we're producing or anything else of that nature.
That's right.
And it's something that we can easily overcome because we know what the problem is.
That's right.
But it's hard on a day-to-day when we want to see the results now.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. That's okay. It is a journey. I think we kind of touched on everything, which is great. I think we should shoot this same podcast again in like 6 months.
I agree. And then we can
That'd be
critique
fun.
everything.
Yeah, we can laugh back. We'll like put a little clip of us like watching this one, but in 6 months from now in the studio, because we'll definitely be in the studio by then.
We're going to be in the studio within the next, let's say 3 weeks. So
Yeah.
people don't get
That's
high expectations.
exactly.
3
Set the
weeks
bar
is
low.
conservative, but
Yeah, within 3 weeks for sure.
working on the game plan. But if you made it this far, thank you for listening to the Real Leverage podcast.
Appreciate
This is my
it.
co-host Tyler Gettleman, and I'm Colton Welligan. And you can stick around for next time.
Thank you.